In the shadows, as I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream. In the shadows, as I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream.
Good morning, everybody. Amen. We're back. I know.
As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows.
But we are back today. Yes, and it's Thursday morning. It's a winter's morning in Johannesburg. And not so cold, by the way. I don't know, but it's not so cold. I heard that it's a rainy Cape Town today. And it's a cold, rainy Cape Town this morning. But yeah, in Johannesburg, it is nice and sunny. I think the temperature is actually 21 to 23 this afternoon. So it's not so cold. But there is a chill in the air this morning, though. But yeah, nevertheless, I have a little bit of a froggy in my throat, you know. But we're going to do the show, guys. Don't worry. Just be happy. Take your coffee and relax and speak to us via comments. And we will enjoy your company this morning. Well, we are actually talking on a very interesting topic, and that is on identity mishaps. So before we go any further, by the way, if you didn't subscribe as yet, I want you to subscribe, man. Come on now. It's so long that you are watching and you are on this inside show for so long, but you never subscribe. So why don't you just hit that bell, and you will know what is happening on the show. You know what I'm saying? You will know well in advance what we are doing. So yeah. We are running this morning on identity mishaps, and we want to welcome Anka back from Namibia. Yeah, overseas. And Violet is still overseas. Violet is still in USA.
I come back.
Yeah, she takes very long to come back, you know.
Sometimes it is important to take a break, I think, in the humdrum of everyday life. And certain things in your life become redundant, and you don't see, or you get up and you just do the whole rigmarole every single day. It's important to have a bit of a disruption in that, so that you can start appreciating little things. I think there was so much for me that usually I used to say, and you'll hear me change my speech now, I used to say, ek gaan bietjie huis toe, right? Toe ek daar was, ek nee, ek wil huis toe gaan. So it becomes a matter of where you start appreciating your life, you start appreciating, because you understand where home is, where home is supposed to be for you. And for me, that was a nice realization. And there was one of my cousins asked me, so when are you coming back? I'm like, I don't think I can come back and reintegrate, because the lifestyles are so vast.
Different.
It's so totally different, yeah. But it's nice to be back. It's refreshing to be back. So, yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Wonderful. And then we have ladies in the room.
Oh, yes.
You can say hi to the people.
Hi, everyone. It's awesome. Always amazing to be on the Inside Shows. Let me tell you, Talk with Joan. It's not just a talk. It's transformational speaking. I mean, it's great thoughts that's been sharing here. And I'm so honored to be back with my pastors and my colleagues and my friends.
Yes.
Joan and Pastor Anka, thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited. This is a topic dear to my heart. So, yeah, I feel like it's so relevant.
I wonder why it's so dear to you.
I'm telling you, you're going to find out. You're going to find out.
Yes, so we actually, there's a chapter in this book of Lady S, Born to Move.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have the book, please get it. It is actually very good price, and we will give you all the details after the show.
That's right.
But yeah, for now, if you actually have the book, you can actually read with us and go with us on what we're actually going to discuss this morning. So we want to discuss something in the book that is identity mishaps.
Yes.
I find that there are so many mishaps when it comes to identity, and so many people struggles with identity, and that is why they're trying to be someone else, you know. So before we go there, we actually want to do something in the mirror today. Yeah, we had the ball for the few weeks, and so we want to do something in the mirror today. So if you have your mirror, right, and you look at the person looking back at you, that same gal or that same guy looking back at you right now in that mirror, only name one thing. Only name one thing you don't like about that person. What don't you like about the person looking back at you right now?
So since Mars is leading, give us an example, you know.
She's looking deep into herself.
Yeah,
now.
for example, you're ready already. What?
I don't like the actual with age fat comes. I don't like the fat that comes with age. If I look at this person, I see that this girl is getting real fat, right? See I have a double chin and so on. But ja, drapolo nek.
Gesondheid wat so lyk.
Maar daai wys my net ek is gesond, ek is happy and healthy. Ek is blessed and anointed. So that's why you see I wear polo neck to hide this neck.
Yeah, double chin.
Yeah. So yeah, that is what if I look in the mirror and look at this person. And then there's one personality trait that I don't like of this girl now. But sometimes she's too straight. Yeah. I don't know how to mix something. I don't know sometimes how to
Find the balance.
How to be fake.
How to be fake. I can't be fake.
Oh.
What you see is what you get.
Maar hy is nie verkeerd nie.
So yeah, I can't be fake. A lot of people, you get a lot of fake people.
Ja.
Hulle lag en smile met jou en dan hier agter jou, ja, die daggers. So that's why, to me, if something bothers me, I'm gonna tell you it bothers me, man. I don't like that about you. So that is me, and some people don't like it.
Or they don't know how to
How to
handle
process
it,
it,
yeah.
Engage it.
So I don't know about you.
Laaste.
Okay.
That girl looking back at
Yeah,
you.
the realness that was coming out there. The double chin. Okay, what I don't like about this girl looking at this morning, I don't like her self-doubting herself. Even if she had to be at moments, she had to be proud of herself. Then she still have a bit of self-doubting, and that I struggle with that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, really? Is it me? Do I deserve this? And yeah, so I struggle a little bit with it. But yes, with my physical appearance, I struggle with a gray hair. Yeah, it's coming. Listen, it's coming. But we have to embrace it. But I really don't like it. I have to die tomorrow.
I like it now.
Yeah,
I embraced it.
I think if it was like evenly gray, then it would have been. But now, like it's.
But
plek,
yours is evenly
but it's
gray.
plek. Yeah, bewolk. Dan is aan niks.
It's salt and pepper, Mars.
Ja,
Salt
okay.
and pepper,
Maar nou
girl,
dat
it's in fashion.
It
It's
would be
in
die binnenkant
fashion.
ook as jy. So but it's fine. I embrace it. Let me embrace it rather. But
You have to embrace
that is the
it,
things
girl.
that we struggle with, you know.
Yeah,
and that's
no.
real life. So
That's real
yeah,
life. That's
definitely.
real life.
Ek sê altyd mense betaal baie geld vir ons hare grys te maak. I've been grey for a very long time, so dit moet maar aangaan. It is what it is. For me personally, I think it's a tough one. I think there's a few things that I don't like when it comes to personality traits for myself. I think one of the major ones you now mentioned as well is the second guessing of yourself when you've done something, or you've, ek het nou die regte ding gesê, or that kind of thing. But that's the one thing that I still sometimes struggle with. I think I'm gaining confidence in that. And then the aspect of procrastination, I think I really don't like that about myself. and I am working consciously on it, because I know procrastination is maidang. And then physically, I don't know, lately I think I've been getting a boopy, because I've been very proud that I look like a bona fide mother of 2 now, but with that I have a young boopy. I think with that I'm struggling, but yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm here. So I don't know what you are struggling with right at the moment, but there are quite some things that, especially women, right? Women struggles with a lot of things in their lives, and I can't just say women. You find men too. They might not verbalize it, but they actually do have that too.
Yes.
You know, and I don't know, guys. You can talk to us. What are you struggling with when you look at the person looking back at you? Because if I must just give one scripture verse in the Bible, in Genesis 1, that's the beginning of the Bible,
That's
guys.
right.
Genesis 1 verse 27, that says, so God created man in his own image.
Yes.
Sorry. In the image of God, he created him, right? So, which means he created him male and female. Then the Bible says he created them. So God created us in his image. So what you see is the image of God. And I want you, if you struggle with certain things, if you struggle with, things that you don't like about yourself,
That's right.
always remember when you look into the mirror and there are certain flaws that comes up, think and think again that, you know what, this person looking back at me are created by God
Amen.
in his image.
That's right.
That is how he created you.
Amen.
Right? Whether you're male or female, right? God created you in his image. That is exactly the print that he wanted to roam around
Absolutely.
on the face of the earth. So it actually highlights the unique creation of humanity, and it emphasizes that all people, both male and female, are made in God's image, and they possess inherent worth and dignity. So you possess worth and dignity.
Amen.
Always, when you look at yourself again, remember this.
That's right.
Right? That you are created in God's image,
That's
and
right.
that you have worth and dignity.
Amen.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's go into the mishaps. And we have Lady S here with us. And I actually want her first to go into the story, and then we will go to the questions that we all going to actually work through.
That's
right?
right.
We're going to work through this question, and I want you to actually participate with us.
That's right.
If you are online and you're watching the show this morning, please participate.
Yes.
In the questions.
Yes.
And it will be nice to hear your views
through.
you know. So we're gonna go and just say, Lady S, why identity mishaps? Because I read the book, and to be quite honest, there's a lot of things that I know you went through, but with the identity mishaps, because I'm also going to release my book
Yes.
in August, if God willing.
Amen.
And then there's also identity in there,
yes.
because I believe in identity.
True.
It's a topic that myself and Lady S always talk about.
Always.
We always talk about it because it is so real. I see it on a daily basis. When I look at social media, I see identity crises like you can't believe.
Yeah.
You know, what people portray out there, and it's not the real self.
And also how the world is socially charged now, like
That's
what's
right.
happening out there.
That's
It,
so
it's
true.
all it all relates back
That's so
to
true.
to not knowing who you
Yeah,
are,
true.
your identity.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
True.
So, Lady S, take us a little bit into the story. Why identity mishaps? What happened to you that you actually went through that crisis?
Okay, thank you so much. So this chapter is chapter number 3 in the book, nah? And I wanted to have it early in the book, in the early stages of the book, because to really reflect and the readers to see that I didn't show up like this all the time, be knowing who I am now. But I had a crisis in my identity growing up. Because we been with my grandparents and yet so be confused. My grandparents speak Afrikaans and we came from Alexander and we speak a little bit of other language that they couldn't understand, but we outgrow it so fast. My grandparents, identify as colored, as brown people, and here we are confused. We not sure are we also colored or who we are, So growing up in that community was very difficult, not just in the community, but in the family structure, because you will hear, some of your nieces and cousins will speak about, they black, they actually are black because their father is black. But I didn't understand it, but I was so confused with that because I was like, but who am I really, growing up, going to school, being Afrikaans. So I grew up as colored, which I'm very proud of. But that whole confusion was so part of my life, up until I had to really understand what is it to have an identity, your own identity. And then I realized who I really am today, So, but taking me back to my journey, it was very, very difficult at that time because I am. I'm not totally black. I'm not colored, and I can't speak an African language. Vernac. I speak Afrikaans, and people will think you actually supposed to be black and speak a Vernac language, but it's not happening. So that actually crippled me so much, that identity mishap, that it causes me a lot of low self-esteem. And so I was saying I didn't show up like that. So that causes me so in fact, I struggle already the fact that I didn't grow up with my parents. They abandoned us. They rejected us. So you struggle with one element. And here's another element you had to deal with. So identity mishap was for me a very painful experience in my journey growing up. I must say, it was very painful. And I had to, through my journey, what helps me a lot is to I found Jesus Christ. And that relationship, I must say, it shapes me to know, okay, like Joan was reading that scripture now. So I'm actually a child of God. Although I'm not sure, am I colored, I'm black, but I am a child of God. God actually intended for me to be here. So I need to find that. I need to really hunger for that first before I can then fully stand and say, although my father is black, although my mom is colored, so I am.
I know there's a certain part in your book where you actually talk about how your grandfather actually spoke to you. Your grandmom was like a very soft-spoken person, but your grandfather was a bit harsh.
You was.
And he actually said some words
true.
to you and your sister, because you were two. It was you and your little sister.
Yes.
And you actually mention it where you say that your grandfather said, your mother must come fetch these black children.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, sorry.
Yes.
What happened in a little child's mind at that age, not really understanding what is happening to them, being abandoned by their biological mother and is dumped by another house.
That's right.
With a grandmother and father, and now that with cousins and all that, who is really speaking what brown people speak.
That's right, in today's life.
Right? And now you come and you don't really understand one another. So there's a communication gap, so to speak. How did you feel, if you can recall back if you can even recall back.
I can definitely recall back. I think that was moments it caused so much heartache to me because my grandfather was so frustrated for the fact that they have to take care of us now. And when we were not in line, with the discipline, and that is where that words will come out. And also when he's under the influence of alcohol, my grandfather was drinking up until a certain age, and then he stopped drinking. But that frustration come out during that time. And then you were like, let Macy, my aunt's nickname was Macy, let Macy just come fetch his black children, in today's life they say cover children, because that was his frustration of letting him know, feeling like, why must we sit with you guys still, But growing up for me, in the back of my mind, it causes me so much trauma that I grew up in, when I got married, I didn't want to have children. Because I was like, that whole thing was playing out of the back of my mind. How will I be able to handle and treat children? Because look what happened to me as a child. You know what I mean? So that actually I left a scar with me up until I had to really grow
then
to
also you were then taken to someone else's house, strangers.
Yes.
Right? Where actually here, while I was reading it, I really got so emotional to think that, wow, look at this, But yet, I like the in the story, in the book, where you actually say, and I'm going to actually read it as you say it.
That's right.
You say, my story is one of resilience and personal growth.
Yes.
Demonstrating the transformative power of embracing one's identity. When did you realize that, listen, this is what it is? I have to now push through this. And looking at you today, I can see this.
Yes.
This is a true thing, that the resilience you had and your personal growth and you're still pushing,
That's right.
to get somewhere in life due to the fact that you didn't have the privileges that a lot of other children have.
True, Joan. It is so imperative what you say there. When I started to realize, and I always say to people, my whole life was a fight. I always had to fight for myself to become. So in high school, that is where it started. Even through primary school, it was still difficult because now you're at school with your peers, and they have and you don't have, and things like that. I think I share some of it in the book. But when I got into high school, and I've listened to teaching on identity, attending church services with the late Pastor Anthony Constant, shout out. And in Porch, that is where it started. I must say, my shaping really started during my high school years when I attended a school and stayed in the boarding school. So now you're at a place whereby you're all out by yourself. So I need to find myself now, Pastor Anka. And that was really my turning point.
I just want to say, like, and I've told you this before, in our private conversations, is that I now understand, I want to say this now, that I now understand why you are the way you are. I always say to you that when we go places, because there's this element of realness. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter who we you are who you are. True. And that authenticity, that realness is like what draws people to you. You've become not a chameleon, but you can be comfortable at anybody's house. You can be comfortable in any setting because you've become so comfortable in who you are. True. You've become so secure in who you are, but it took a journey to get there. Yes. Now I understand. And you have this thing where you don't pass any sense of judgment. Yes. That's what my name. It's very profound. Yeah. Because sometimes people grow up in a certain space and they come into a certain space and they're like, yes. never you. You're like, nee man, los, die, kom ons maak so, hier, ons maak dit gego hier reg, you know.
Yes.
You're that kind of
True,
comfortable
true.
person. And I think for me, that has eased me into certain spaces as well, you know. I may not have dealt with what you've dealt with. I identity when it comes to ethnicity, I don't think we struggle with that like as Namibians. I think we had a different kind of history, as much as it was interlinked with South African history. I can resonate with the whole having a black father in that, because I know that a lot of the older people back then, what they would do is guys no near.
Yeah.
You know, so I can understand it. But for me, I think that the outcome when God comes in and he heals and you work through it, and there's an element of forgiveness, then you step into such a you step into such a beautiful, like, there's like a glow about you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you say you wrestled about with insecurities.
Yes.
And I think it is so profound that many times we find ourselves as, I'm talking from a woman's perspective, you know, we find ourselves not having the specific skin color
True.
that is actually, how can I say, wat aanvaard wordt,
Yeah.
that is accepted.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying,
Presented,
in certain circles.
True.
So you actually say you wrestled
True.
with insecurities. How did you overcome the insecurities?
Yes. So it's so profound what you say, Johnny. It's when people see you now, they assume that it was always been like that. And like I said in the book, the wrestling with insecurities was, for me, in such a stage that I would walk into the room, not like today, but I will walk into the room and say something, but shy from certain questions and conversations, you know, shy away from it, because that will reflect, you know, who I am. And I was really hiding a lot. Not like today, I will show up and just speak my mind. I was really hiding a lot sometimes in rooms because of that insecurities of my skin color, the tone of my voice, you know, not pronouncing the words correctly, not being, you know, this girl that grew up with parents. Because in rooms where people will start talking about their moms and fathers, I couldn't say something, you know. So how I overcome my insecurities, is like I was rightfully saying, I had to find myself in a space of learning. I was on a journey of learning, you know, who am I really, what God said I am, you know. And in order for me to find that, I had to find myself in support groups whereby people will have conversations about how to overcome insecurities. I had to find myself in a church whereby I've learned or heard about how God, you know, have created you in his image, and you don't have to be insecure, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's so profound. That's why I actually highlighted that with the insecurities. And I actually want to talk a little bit more about how we suffer insecurities with certain things that happen to us in the past. You know what I'm saying? If I think about the insecurities I am faced with, and up till today, there are still insecurities that I struggle with. You know what I'm saying? You find that you grew up Afrikaans, and now you must all of a sudden be in an English world.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And now you find that if you need to say something in certain spaces, or you have to preach, you become nervous because
like you overthink it. But you did something so beautifully on Sunday, and that die mense gelaat lag. You owned that. You said you were speaking, and then you went, "Oh, my Engels klinkt so mooi vandag." It was like what it does is it's kind of like a superpower.
Yes.
You know, you in that moment, you're like, luisterie, julle moet net hoor wat ek gesê het, you know, and you move with it. It sort of like cancels out the element of you second guessing yourself, like you must now live with this monkey on your back. But it was so beautifully, and almal het so lekker gelag daaroor.
But it's like Pastor Joan, what Joan said is, it's not to say, even though I say that, and even though, like you
yeah.
said, Pastor Anka, but there is some other elements that still let me feel insecure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a
You know
fact.
what, Johnny?
It's there.
It's true. There's some rooms that you
there.
will be in, and you like,
And the people are eloquent.
exactly, and you like,
like,
you know.
oh, Can I tell you
I
guys
don't understand that word.
a secret from my side?
Okay.
That is why you don't find me somewhere go and minister out. Yes, I get invitations.
Yes.
But to be quite honest with you, I still struggle with that.
Sure. True. Me too.
I still struggle with it.
But
because I sometimes feel that, the people are so eloquent,
Yeah.
Hulle praat mooi Engels. And then you come and a lot of people say, but you won't even know that you are Afrikaans.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what
True,
I'm saying?
true.
But yet you know it in the back of your mind.
Yes.
Because when I grew up as a little girl, I had an insecurity. Ek was bang vir mense.
Okay.
To be quite honest,
that's
I
right.
found my space in the house. I still have marks on my body because in the corner of our home was a little stove, and that was my corner. And
Wow.
and I sometimes burnt myself. That's why I still have the marks.
Yeah.
Because I went to go hide in that corner.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was taught girls must be seen and not heard.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And that actually it brought some
stifled,
insecurities to you. Also, the fact that I was the only girl in my parents' home. My hair is
at
very
the time.
thick. I had thick hair. And I couldn't understand why am I the only one, and that's why, as innocent as it is,
True.
as simple as it sounds, yet in that little child's mind, if you're gonna keep on also harboring on something,
And
it brings something to you.
And not just that, I think the onkunde, sorry, my English fails me. The onkunde, I don't know the English word for that now, of the older generation, they maybe, because it was seen as normal talk, they would say stuff like, hoekom is jou hare nou so, or, I'll never forget,
Yeah.
my late granny, the one day when Ava was small, I used to make a hair curl, so it had like a little afro, I don't know if Mary remembers. So the one day she called me and she's like, "Ai, my kind, hoe kam jy daai hare?" Now I'm laughing because I know where she's going to, because in her mind, straight is the way to go. Like you must have the sleek, straight hair. And I said, "Nee, mommy, ek maak dit so. I purposefully, curl it like that." But now for a child, like they always used to tell us, jy moet dink aan jou nageslag, jou
Yes,
kinders se hare and so on. And when the children come, they were treated differently. That's
No,
the
that's a
sad
fact.
reality.
That's
you know.
true. You find it in families.
yes.
You find it in
And that
families
leaves
that
scars,
yeah,
right?
it leaves a lot of
That leaves
scars.
scars.
And I
It's
think
scars that stays with you.
So it stays with
right
you,
through.
and like you said now, John, you will have the abilities. I have the abilities, I have the skill, I have the knowledge, but you still walk into a room and think less of you because
That's true.
not because of where you are right now, because of the previous scars.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is what really the journey I've been on thus far. That's why the name of the book is Born to Move, to continuously strive and trusting God to help me to overcome these little things in my life, so that I don't have to continuously reflect back on it. And I just want to throw in something with regards to the speaking. I remember one of our friends told us a story and saying this person went and preached at a specific church, and I know they went to a church and there was a preacher and the preacher was preaching, and after church he was asking, "How was the preaching for you?" It's like, "No man, hulle praat net mooi Engels, daar was die salwing nie." So Joan, we have anointing, so we are anointing children of God. We can step into rooms even if you're not eloquent, even if the English does not come out properly, and that is my power, my superpower.
That is your
Pastor Ata,
superpower.
because I feel like I'm empowered by God. Yes. I'm anointed by God, and I will stand up and speak up. And daai wat nie reg uitkom nie, hulle moet hom maar reg maak.
I think it's just a mentality personality, because if it was maybe a Spanish accent and the words, then it was, oh, that klinkt so mooi.
Yes.
If it was French, oh, that klinkt. Do you get what I'm saying? I
Yes.
think, and we were all caught up in that. Oh, die juffrou kan nie Engels praat nie because she said that's what wrong.
Yeah.
But if you actually listened to what the person was saying, then you would have heard they speaking
And
sense
you can wrestle.
and
You can
intelligently.
actually wrestle
Yeah,
with who you are,
yeah.
as
True.
you say, with who am I?
True.
It sits at the back of your mind, in your subconscious mind.
absolutely.
It actually sits
Yeah.
there, and you ask yourself, but who am I?
True.
You know what I'm
True,
saying?
absolutely.
And you can actually, as you say, dealing with what society expects from me and sorting out how I see myself. You say this exploration forced me to face some hard facts, questioned what I thought I knew, and in the end, helped me understand myself much better. Then you say, the disruption and confusion helped me to spark my personal growth and self-discovery. Right? Because that confusion that is in the back of your mind, you have to somehow find a way
True.
to maneuver yourself through
Yes.
in order to get to
Where
who
am
is
I?
this person.
Exactly. True.
And that actually made you to become who you are today.
Absolutely.
So all of us need to understand you have to journey through the struggles, journey through the wrestle, to become who you are. And then I also highlighted something that stood out for me in this chapter per se. You say, for many, an identity mishap serves as a wake-up call, right?
Yes.
Prompting a journey of self-discovery and introspection.
True.
It compels individuals to re-evaluate their beliefs, their values, and their perceptions of themselves as they strive to reconcile the discrepancies between their perceived identity and their newfound realities. That
to me,
speaks
yes.
loud.
Yes.
That speaks loud.
Absolutely.
You have to get to a place to get the inner core within you.
Absolutely.
The person who's living in the suit. The real person, not someone else.
someone else.
Because a lot of us go to some other people and we go live in their shadows.
Yeah.
And we
True.
never live the
The real
person
self.
we are.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful. Do you want to say anything
I
on that?
want to say something, Joan. And now that you said that, while I read my book also, I always make notes. That stood out for me. And that was really my journey of finding my true identity, my value systems, my beliefs in who I am, and the consistently introspection and reflection. And
Yes.
that helps me actually to find really my true and honest core identity. And as you also know, my journey on my coaching career, that also contribute to it.
Yes, it helped.
It helps a
Yeah,
lot
it
because you're
helps.
dealing with hardcore
Helps.
questions.
Yes,
you're dealing with your
absolutely.
authenticity.
Yes.
And that helps me where I am today. Now I can show up and say,
But don't
I
you
am
think a
this.
lot of us run away
Absolutely.
to actually confront the real person?
Absolutely.
And that is why we run away from coaching,
True.
coaching ourselves.
True.
Who is this person?
True.
Finding out, because it makes you a better person.
Absolutely.
If you know who you
You
are.
are.
You will not be intimidated by any crowd when you know
You
who
will not
you
desire
are.
to love
You will
somebody
not
else.
desire to be someone else. Right?
And,
So
why we say that on coaching is, hence this book is like this, actually incorporate the
With the
coaching
questions,
with
yeah.
questions. And I found many of my readers will give me review, but you won't believe how they struggle to answer the questions. They like, Lady S, it's like, I'm not ready to face that. I can't be vulnerable with myself. And I said to them, that is where you're going to find yourself. That's why you're sitting with the problems you are having,
No,
and you cannot move
absolutely.
forward. You are stagnated, you're stuck. But when you face those things, you will overcome.
No, that's a fact
Yeah,
of life.
definitely.
That's so true, because we find many times that there are certain things that's within you, certain things that happen to you that is sometimes so painful to actually articulate. You can't even say how you feel.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And you become so shy. You shy away.
And besides
To
shy,
act-
Johnny, you walk around with shame.
And
You
guilt.
walk around with guilt and
Yes,
shame.
and it makes you an ugly person
True,
at the end of the
true,
day.
true.
Instead of dealing with the person, you know, the real person who you live with every day.
Absolutely.
I always take it like that.
It's hard, but it's possible.
It's hard.
But it's possible.
It's hard. And especially if you confront
You.
the person living in the suit.
True.
It's going to make you a better
True.
person. So if we go to the questions, guys, the first question is, and we will all do this, right? What are the core values that guide your decisions and your actions? Because you have to make certain decisions in your life, right? And act upon what you decide.
True.
Okay? So there are certain values that every person have in their personal lives.
Absolutely.
Right? And those values drives you. Those are the values that you see. You want to see it, you know, in yourself, and also you try to seek it in other people too. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you.
So what are the core values, if I must ask you, what are the core values that guide your decisions and your actions? I had a few that
Okay.
I actually wrote down.
Yeah,
I
me
said
too.
integrity. It stands out for me.
True.
I love integrity. You know, if I say something, let me do it.
True.
It's important. So I don't become a liar. You know what I'm saying? And then respect. Because I love to be respected, I will give respect to others. The people who is with me every day.
That's right.
And the people that I come in contact with. And then honesty. I love honesty. Be honest. And that's why if you're honest with yourself, who you are, it brings a whole lot of things that you are honest with everybody else.
True,
Because it
absolutely.
starts with you first.
Start with you first.
Right? And so that is a few. I'm not going to read all of this because just I take your
Yeah.
things too.
And that's your
So
side.
that is
Yeah, you must
my,
show the audience you have completed it. Look here. My book is full
It's
of...
full, yeah.
You
Jy
need
het
to write it down for
encyclopedias
yourself.
geskryf, ja.
Let me tell you, you need to write it down for yourself. So for my side, Joan have covered the ones. I have some of it, but I want to just name the ones that she didn't cover. So authenticity is for me vital.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
very,
I wrote it
very.
here. I believe to being true to myself first,
Yeah.
like Joan said. Because
Yeah.
if I'm not authentic to myself first,
Yeah.
you know, of who I am
You'll
in that
be false.
moment, I will be false all the time.
Yeah, and we already wear
Yes,
false
I
things.
false. Yeah, this morning my false
False
eyebrows
eyelashes,
fall out.
false
I like
hair,
leave the
false-
eyelashes at
Alles
home.
van ons gaan
Just be
vals is.
genuine.
Moenie die mense al ons secrets gee nie.
Ek meen nou, jy word so vals.
Yes.
Jy vergeet glad wie jy is.
It escalated.
You can't walk out of the house not to put on your false things. It is so vital, Johnny. And for me, it's like people,
I feel
society today, remember, society today, they don't like authenticity. They
Yeah,
don't
no, they
like
don't,
realness.
yeah.
They
That's
switch
true.
it. They take
That's
realness
so
as false and they
true.
take false as real.
That's so true.
And we're loving in that. And I mentioned here, I wrote here, I said, to lead in love is authentic and to love from a place of realness. Knowing that being me on purpose.
Amen.
So that's really what stood out for me. One of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sorry.
For me, I think you both of you have said a mouthful, and that gives you cause to like rethink and think a bit deeper. But one of the things that you haven't mentioned that I resonate with is siding with truth, is to speak what are the facts of the matter when I make a decision, an informed decision, and how do I act in love, but still siding with truth, because that is what love is, to side with truth. And for me, that is when making a decision in my life. Ek wil eers 'n hele prentjie sien. As I've mentioned from the stage on Sunday, that I always say that there's always two sides to any story. It doesn't matter which. Ek wil eers al die feite sien voor ek besluit, okay, this is the course of action, this is what we're going to, which way we're going to go. That for me. And then obviously the one that I said is to walk in love. How do you address it in love? And for me, that speaks to honesty as well.
Right.
Yes.
Honesty. And that all boils down to integrity.
Yeah, it's integrity,
Absolutely.
yes. And then number 2 is, how do you define yourself beyond your job, roles, or responsibilities?
I will go first. I don't know the audience out there. But when I answer this question for myself, I'm like, I don't define myself on the roles and responsibilities, but every day, when I wake up, I actually define myself as a kingdom influencer, as someone that wants to make a difference, impact somebody's life today, this morning, this afternoon, tonight, before I go to bed. So I define myself beyond my roles and responsibilities and my job title. I define myself as just that influencer that seek how to impact and improve and to really care and to really being present in the moment. That is really how I define myself beyond it. So that's in short. But I wrote a mouthful, my book.
I think for me, I think I'm still working through that aspect, because being in the thick of things, your kinders is nog klein. You, as much as there's a career, or there's the job role that I have, you're still trying to find your feet, because you have to be a mom, you have to be a wife, you have to be all of these things, and I think one of the things that I've said to myself always, that if I come into the presence of somebody else, are their lives changed for the better, or are their lives changed for the worse? Like, I ask myself that question if I roll back the day, and to say, okay, if I did someone take something from that. So if in this conversation, if I have to realize something, I think an encourager. I think I'd like to see myself as an encourager.
Okay.
When I speak to women, when I speak to other people, what do they hear when I say to them? Do they feel less of themselves? Do they feel more insecure? How do they feel when they've left the conversation, or when they've left my presence? And that's something that I don't want. I don't want people to feel suppressed when I've had a conversation with them. So in that, I would say an encourager.
All right, I said a responsible woman who loves to empower others and also learn from others.
Wow, beautiful.
Because you don't know it all.
True.
Even though you're old and you lived life.
True.
And there's certain things that you know. And I always say, if you live longer, especially treating your children with regards of the children is now grown, they're out of the house, and now you always, I never used to understand my parents. I always said, but my parents will always go and visit this one sister of mine, or so. But they won't come sit so long here by me. Why?
Yes, yeah.
But I realized, as my dad once said, that you always see to the weakest link. You see to the weakest person. So you always reach out as a parent to them.
That's right.
I never understood it, guys, until I grew up and am where I am today. To see that it's not that they make bread and fish, but it's because they actually see, the weaker link.
True.
The others are okay. They, and that is why I say I learn from others.
True.
When I'm in a conversation, I'm a good listener.
True, you are.
I can hear through the lines. I can hear, and I'm a discerner. I can discern. So I love to learn when people talk. When we in a conversation as friends, I like to listen, because I can always learn something. I even ask myself in the deaths of my siblings, I asked, what can I learn from this?
True.
Because I love to learn.
True.
And move on, because it can just help me on my journey.
Absolutely.
And that is why I find myself as being a responsible person. Take responsibility
Accountability.
of your life.
True.
Take responsibility of your actions. And I find that is sometimes a lack. It's a lack in our society.
Absolutely.
That people don't want to own up. They don't want to take responsibility of their wrongs. You know what I'm saying? And I think it will make the world so much a better world if we take responsibility.
But you see, Joan, that's why this question also is there, because people, instead of taking responsibility or define themselves beyond the roles, so beautifully what you articulated there about learning and relearning and always learn and listen, then people then throw rather their roles and their job
that's
and their
true.
titles in front.
That is
Before they take
and especially
responsibility,
now, in
before
today's
they
life.
coming to the floor and say,
No, that's
I'm
so
actually
true.
this, besides my
Yeah,
roles.
it's like
my
they ask themselves in their minds, do you know who I am? Do you know who you're talking to?
Exactly.
Someone once asked me that, who are you? I said, as jy nie weet wie ek is, ek weet wie ek is. It's important to know.
So it's very important to understand that, listen, take responsibility. That's why I know I'm a responsible woman. I take responsibility for my actions.
True.
I take responsibility in what I said.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying?
I like what you say. I said yesterday in an email for one of our HODs, I said, I taking responsibility for what I was saying in this line of the email, but I don't take responsibility for how you interpret it.
Yeah.
You say, maybe this is what I wanted to say. No, this is what I want.
Yeah,
I'm only
yeah.
taking responsibility for
what
I was said. What I said, sorry. And that is why we in society,
that's
Joni,
true.
people will interpret, is it right?
Yeah.
Interpret it
Yeah.
differently,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you have said.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just say, listen, that color, Pastor Anka, it's not the right color for us today. But then you interpret it.
So this doesn't fit me.
Me,
So it's
yeah.
not for me
So
now.
you
Yeah.
see there, the polonaise is too hanging,
Yeah.
you interpret it so incorrectly.
Yeah.
And that is where we at, Joni. You beautifully saying taking responsibility
You
for our
have to take
actions
responsibility.
can resolve a
A
lot
lot
of
of things. A lot of
in life.
things.
Absolutely.
That's true. And so number 3 is, what experiences have shaped your sense of self the most? What experience? I have a mouthful.
Me
on
too. Now you can go.
This one's
Pastor
a nice
Anka,
one, 'cause
let's
I
give you
actually
that
have,
one.
I actually have one in the barrel for this one.
What experiences shaped your
Yeah.
sense of self?
Yeah.
For me,
The
it's
most.
the role I am in now. And for me, Maya had a lot to do with that. And you were saying that you feel so insecure, like when you have to preach out because of how you feel. But I can resonate because every time you step out on that stage, you have to make sure that you're so soaked. You have to make sure that there's certain things you have to. And that has shaped me because I get to a place where I never want to be fake.
Yeah.
I never want to be something that I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want people to think, ooh, these die persoon op die stage. When they meet me, it's like,
Yeah, it's a
nee, these are
different
two
person.
different mense. So I think that role has shaped me to step into that authentic self, to be who you are consistently.
Absolutely.
Because the person you are when no one is looking, that's who you really are. So for me, it's to be that consistently and that people could see the authenticity, so that when you do preach, when you do speak the word of God, people can start to resonate, they can start to hear you, because hulle weet nee man, die ene sal nie snaaks so goed aanvang nie. And that for me has really shaped me more over the last few years.
Yeah, I think with me, as I realize that we all are unique. We all have our different giftings and talents and so on. And the thing that really shapes me in my own personal self is to let them.
Yes.
You know, I realize in my life more than ever that I cannot live other people's lives.
You cannot change other people.
I cannot change other people's minds. I am not God. You know what I'm saying? So we are all unique. And God gave each of us gifts and talents and experiences. And we never settle for being a copy. We are the original person that God created. Because I believe that you cannot compete with others. Guys, because you find a lot of people that will not be able to actually answer these questions. The things that shaped me, even in life, personally, in marriage, with children, the different phases, stages, the ministry.
That's right.
You know, there are certain things that shape me, that I am unique and I cannot be someone else.
Absolutely.
I can't be in competition with Sonia because Sonia now, that's why when Sandy and Sonia released their books, they knew my book was in the pipeline.
That's right. That's right.
And it's been there for long. And it's just that I don't feel in a rush.
True.
I never felt in a rush. And if they brought their books out and released their books before me, so what?
Yes, we celebrate.
I celebrate them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that to me is things that shaped me. Maybe in my early years, I was going to say,
You would have felt
oh,
some sort of way.
wow.
Yes.
They knew I'm going to, and now they run before me. You get what I'm saying? I am so content in the skin that I am in, that I sometimes get scared for the person I became, to be honest with you, because of the experiences
Experience.
that shaped me. You know,
Absolutely.
those things that I saw in the past maybe reacted differently then. I won't do it now.
Now, true. So it's things
Because
that
it's
shape you.
things that shape
Shapes
me.
me.
Don't be too quick
Yes, that's right.
with the tongue.
Yes.
It's things that shaped me.
True. True.
You know, don't be offensive for everything.
True. And then
Right?
things that shapes us.
It's things that shaped
Yeah.
me. So it is a lot of things, you know, because sometimes you will come and you will want to be someone else
True.
and live someone else and never be you.
Yeah.
And start competing.
True. True.
Competing. And,
And
oh,
you
I
get
see
hurt.
this one is there.
En jy get hurt
You
along
get
the
hurt.
way.
You get hurt a
Yeah.
lot along
You
the way.
get
En jy trap op naels, jy breek 'n glas hier. It's
Nee,
like
magtig.
you're trying to compete, so you're trying to get ahead of the race, but you just get hurt in the
It's
process.
vital. It's vital. And that is my experiences that actually shaped me. I can talk a lot. When I only think about ministry, guys, I can think a lot,
True.
Yep.
to be honest with you. How you treat people,
True. True.
you know, sometimes you want the reaction, you want respect, but you don't give
You don't
respect.
get respect.
Sometimes you're so quick with your mouth.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your
Absolutely.
attitude stinks.
Yep.
True.
You know, so it is important to actually have the love of God within you
Absolutely.
and know that, hey, these are not your children, you know, and even husband and wife, especially if you're first lady, you know who you are in yourself,
Absolutely.
because your husband can't make you.
Absolutely.
He can't. And that is the things that I've learned,
True.
the experiences that actually shaped me
Yeah.
and made me the person
Person
I
you
am today.
Sure. So for me, it's like, yeah, so amazing to listen to Joan's experiences. It's so refreshing and so insightful. And I wrote here a few experiences in my book, and then I overflow to write notes on my phone because there's not enough space for the experiences that have shaped me. But I'm not going to call everything. So mostly standing out because of my book, I would say even the two worlds that I grew up in between, moving from Alexandra, from the lights in Joburg to the Northern Cape Hartswater, small town, humbleness, that lens of experiences shaped me on who I am today, to say, you know what, everybody is equal, love people, just care for people. That's why it's not easy for me sometimes not to love people. It's not easy for me to look down on people because I know that experience has shaped me where I came from. The experience also that shaped me when we were in ministry with my husband and at a church before. That experience has shaped me a lot. Like Joan said, how to interact with people, how to laugh and care for people, although they make you nar. You know what I mean? How to be just there for them and show up, Going to the houses at 12 o'clock at night and when they have a family crisis the next day, you need help, they know where to be found. So that experience has shaped me to know that I don't have to be offensive anymore. I don't have to, say tit for tat. You have done this, I do this. So that's like experiences that have really shaped me through my journey of life. Also experiences where it taught me about Ubuntu, how to be in oneness with people, how to just be, there for people whenever they are in a need, and you'll be able to assist to them. So that's an experience that has shaped me, because you know why, Johnny? I needed help at some stages. I was actually, people had a space for me in their houses. That's why it's okay for me if somebody needs a space today in my house, I will be there for help for a short time. But as experiences that have shaped me to make me understand that, I can have today and tomorrow I don't have. Today my bank balance says so, tomorrow it says insufficient funds. So that's the experience that have shaped me. And knowing now today, I can appreciate, I can be content, I can give when I have, and when I don't have, I can also say maybe I don't have now. I'm running out of cash temporarily, but I will have, So that is an experience that have really shaped me through life and made me today. And also to show, like I said, Ubuntu-ness and supportiveness. That's why it's okay for me to be supportive towards people. Because people are supportive towards me. People love me. People care for me. People stretch a hand out for me. So that's a kind of experience that shaped me, and I constantly love for it. I love it, And that is where
before Anka goes through, there's another experience that really I feel I need to mention is the experience if someone come and try to paint someone else with a black brush.
True.
True. I've learned not to take it.
True.
And experience the person for myself.
True. Absolutely.
Because those are certain things you can't run with what people tell you who someone else is.
Absolutely.
You have to experience the person for yourself.
Beautiful.
It's something that I learned.
True.
It's an experience that, maybe you had an experience with this person. I never had it.
Can't resonate with it.
I can't talk with you.
Yes, true.
You know what I'm saying? And I've learned also when someone come to gossip, that's another experience.
Yes.
Is to actually tell the person straight off, listen, guy or girl, you know what? This is gossip.
True.
We are talking about someone here. And I'm not going to participate.
That's right. We don't know the truth, so why are you talking?
Because I don't know what happened. I don't have the full truth.
Yes.
And I think it's so important.
Very important. There's experience.
That, is experiences that actually brings me to a point where I feel that in the church, if we can become like that.
Yeah.
Because I've learned it in church.
True.
To actually call a spade. And that's where I want to leave it.
And also about forgiving, John.
forgive and forget and
in
walk
my
on.
journey of this, I think there's a part that I said I had to learn how to forgive my parents because maybe it was that was what they have to the exposure. They didn't
Yes,
throw
so
us away.
true.
They didn't abandon us just because they want to. Maybe it was the best thing for them to do at that present moment. And that is why when we forgive, we see in that moment, maybe that person was in a place of weakness. And that's why you forgive easily.
so
And that was for me also experiencing. I was just speaking to someone that have their own church now before I came into the show. And that person was actually saying how we have taught them, even though they have walked out those years out of church, but the way we were, towards them and the way we would just keep on being in relationship with them, that taught them the importance of just, forgiveness and continuously doing the kingdom work. And that is experiences that shapes us, Joan.
Experiences that
You have
shapes
to
us,
forgive.
yeah, absolutely
Constantly.
so. Guys, the last one that we're closing with
sorry,
is,
yeah.
because we're over our time,
We're over our
how
time.
much more different do you see yourself compared to how others see you?
Sure, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's a, I know some people see me as stuck up,
Yeah.
as unfriendly. Some people see me as, they know I'm straightforward. I don't know, but I see myself as a respectable woman. I see myself as a peacekeeper, right? Even though sometimes people don't want to make peace, I make peace. I see myself as a trustworthy woman, and I see myself as an honest, straight woman. That's how I see myself, and I don't know, other people's opinions might differ. You know what I'm saying? Because you will always find people who sees the bad.
True.
There'll always
And
be
the
someone that
ugly.
sees something
Yeah.
negative,
But
regardless.
to me, many times I speak to myself and I say, it's not that I don't care what others say about me,
True.
right? But it's not going to define me.
No.
It's not going to define me. Because if you say I don't care, no, you care. Because me, I care. I care
That's the
what
first
people say.
indication that you really do care. When you
No,
say,
you
hey, I
care.
don't care, you do
You
care.
care. So I don't know, Anka, what you want to say on that. How much more different do you see yourself
I think
compared to how others see?
I've had an interesting conversation with someone recently. It's someone that actually watches our show, and she's not from here, and she asked to
Oh,
meet up. But it
wow,
was such a
wonderful.
pleasant experience. And sometimes you see yourself, and like I was saying with Lady S earlier, that you kind of second guess yourself after you said something and whatnot. But you said the right thing, but you just you got that doubt and whatnot. And she mentioned a couple of things that for me was like, wow, I didn't see myself in this light. And I think it was so important and refreshing to see it
Yes.
from someone else's view, because you live in your own head, you
Yeah.
live in a certain sphere, and that's what beats your confidence. That's what gets you down sometimes. So for me, I don't see myself as confident. I like to see myself as someone who's behind the scenes. But I've realized people don't see that. They think I'm overly confident because they see you on the stage, they see you on the podcast. They see you. It's kind of like the shadow, like
Yeah.
it's a clang
It's
that
true,
you
yes,
put, and the shadow looks big, which I think is a good thing, and I could draw from that to gain some confidence in that sphere. I think some people think I'm just loud and boisterous half the time, but I'm technically an introvert. So, yeah. Mensen dink net ek is net hard and like loud, and so when I go into that slumber, I'm just tired. So they're like, "Is alles alright? Is alles alright?" No, this is really who I am. Yeah. I think there's more to cover, but I think I'll just stop there for now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote a few things down also, but what really stood out for me is like people will always say, "I'm so confident. I so real and so authentic," but I don't see myself like that all the time, because you know why? I'm not always real, because there's some stuff that is sometimes not too juicy that you can put out in the public about your own life and about your family life and about, so you why I said I I don't portray that things always. You know, not because it's fake. I show fake, but I show up regardless. You know what I mean? So people will see me as that, but in the back, I see myself as a devil slayer. I slay devils, you know, in my household.
Yeah.
I'm a generational destroyer of bad things.
Yes.
I break bondages, boundaries. I break generational curses. I
yes.
break, you know, I'm busy with those things in the background because I believe that God has not raised me up until this far to stood out in my family for nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm a
There's a
fighter.
purpose, yeah.
I see myself as a fighter, you know. I'm fighting in the background, you know, for my family, for my nieces, my cousins, my friends, children, whatever. I'm always in a fight with the enemy because this is what I see myself, you know, not to just go through life every day and show up as this confidence woman. Behind confidence, there's fights going on.
Absolutely
There's fights
so.
going on. There's what you call it, wars going on in the spirit. And I see myself sometimes like that. Although people just see this face, confidence, laughing, whatever. 2:00 in the morning, there's some demons to fight.
Yeah, that's
and
a
I
fact,
see
eh?
myself sometimes
Yeah,
there.
that's a truth.
I really
That's-
see
that's
myself.
very
When people
true. So
don't
we
see
can-
me, I see myself there.
I just want to ask one question, and this I think is for the viewers, and it's personal towards you. You obviously grew up and you went through these challenges and all of that, right? Being the person that you are right now, your challenges, how has it affected the person that you are right now to your family? Like when you go back, how do your family view you now? Like, are you a stronger person? Are you a beacon of hope? What are you for them?
Yeah, I must say, when I had a book launch in May there in Hartswater, my cousins and my nieces and everybody, they were just there, you know, and I am that beacon of hope for them. And they have verbalized it. They were so proud of me, you know, because they were the first-hand experience of my growing up. And one of my eldest nieces was like saying a speech there, and she still was saying memories of what she had about me being aangeneem in the NG Kerk and things with my white dress and so. But that moments for them was like, oh my God, God have choose you all along, so that you can come back and be a beacon of hope for us.
Right. So, yes, beloveds, we came to the end of our show, and we just want to say it's not only sometimes mishaps with identity with us on the face of the earth, but Naomi also had a mishap, identity mishap. In her life when she lost her husband and her sons. So if you can go into that story and see and find yourself as she found herself again. She found herself when she went back to where she came from. And that is so important for us. Go back and search the person that you've lost along the way. Get the authentic person back.
True.
And that's my last words.
Wow.
A quick last word.
Quick
and
one
also
for me.
it's
I'm
mine.
just going to read the last sentence in my book. It says on identity mishaps, it says, through introspection, resilience, and the support of loved ones, individuals can emerge from the shadow of their identity mishap with a renewed sense of clarity, authenticity, and purpose.
Yeah.
So that is my last.
Yeah.
For
Wonderful.
me, I'll just say don't fight the desert. Embrace it, because you're going to get out of it quicker when you learn what you need to learn in the desert.
Right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. God loves you best. Go in the peace of the Lord. Mwah.
As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my